Good afternoon. Tony Dattino here, founder of the USA Memory Championship. A few weeks ago, we escaped Hurricane Helene, had 12 people come from all over the United States and safely arrive, compete, and return to their home bases. Now we're dealing with Hurricane Milton, and this time Central Florida looks like we're in the target zone. Now, when I define Central Florida for you, I want to make sure I'm getting a lot of text messages and calls, and I appreciate the love and care that people have for me and Evelyn. And the good news is Central Florida is inclusive of Tampa, and that's the St. Petersburg area, Tampa, St. Peter, Central Florida. That's where most of the hurricane is going to hit in its full force, and the 10 to 15 foot water coming up on the shorelines there. The good news is we're about 80 miles inland from that. Does not mean we're escaping the winds and the rain. They're talking about 6 to 10 inches of rain and 80-mile-an-hour winds. So we're hunkered down. We did not evacuate. We heard this morning on the news 1,600 gas stations have run out of gas, which is mind-boggling when you think about it. And the roadways are now clear, but it's like, where do you find a hotel? A neighbor told us that they had a son-in-law up in Georgia, and the hotels were tough to come by. So when you have, 1 million people drive north and all looking for resort or hotel accommodations, it's tough going. So we're here, and the good news is I had a virtual call yesterday with the team at MIT, with Robert Ajamian, who's at the McGovern Brain Institute, along with the people that will edit and film film the live event on November 10th. The audio crew that was there, the stage people, it was a great conference with them. We spent the time learning what we need to do to make everybody comfortable and make sure we're all good. So we are set to go, and now I just need to... and so off we go. I had something come up on my screen, and I went to look at it, and it's one of these advertisements. I can't keep up with this. In any case, we're set to go November 10th, 1 to 5 at the Kresge auditorium. There is no fee for attending, and so it's a great afternoon from 1 to 5 on November 10th. A great afternoon of 14 people that we've got confirmed, and we may have one more on a stage competing for who's got the best memory out of our champions. Now, our champions include Nelson Dellis and Ronnie White, two of our virtual winners. Our current winner was Erdem, and then McKenna. And so it's been terrific to get some of the best people we've had over the 25 years that come into MIT to put on a fun show demonstrating their abilities to retain information, and on topic of memory, to show that it's a skill we can all learn, we can all improve, given the mental challenges of cognitive health and fitness. I was reading another article yesterday talking about the importance of what we can control that can minimize some of the damage of the dementia or the Alzheimer's. And they talk about education and learning how to improve your memory, and learning how to learn skills that you can employ is the word I'm looking for, that can impact your brain. And so that we're learning more and more things about what we can do to improve our mental functions. And what was also interesting is an article I was reading on the importance of oxygen, and how the oxygen we use in our brain is, for our lungs, is also used in our brain. And so there's just so many different tie-ins to what we're accomplishing and what we're working on, and its impact on mental fitness. So I'm very passionate about this event. I'm very excited about it, and we're looking forward to at least 500 people that are attending the event. We've got a VIP section for our family members of our mental athletes that will have sit in front. The mental athletes will have tables so that they can be a little bit more comfortable sitting behind the apron table. and we want to make them, they're the stars of the show, the people that come and compete in the USA Memory Championship. I'm the host. I mean, I organize it a bit, and I'm the passion behind putting it together, but they're the stars of the show. They're the ones that come and put their brains on display. And the first event we're going to have is long-term memory. We're going to have an event where we give them information next week, and they'll have 3 weeks to study this information and put it into their brains and how they'll retain it, and demonstrate it through a series of what we call level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 questions. And so level 1s are just taking a data bit and repeating it, which is the rote memory side of this. But then we move to a level 3 and 4 where we're asking them to take the information and cross the topics and cross the subjects. So for example, in the national parks that we did, what were 3 parks that had foxes that were part of what you would see when you went to the national park? And so they'd have to go quickly through all of the different parks that have foxes, and so boom, and they have 15 seconds that they get to start and figure out how to do this. We'll cross what's the size of a park, so how many acres does it have, and how many visitors does it get on an annual basis? And so we start in level 3 and 4, we start raising the level of questions to a more complicated number, and therefore they have to remember more information, but not just remember in what I call report like robots, but how do we integrate and cross the subjects and cross it? So there's a demonstration of long-term comprehension that they're able to utilize the information and play it back. These mental athletes would be great on trivia shows. They'd be just fantastic, studying the topics of a trivia show and coming in to compete in it. And I think they do extremely well because they're working their memories, they're exercising their brain power and their cognitive functions. We'll go from the long-term memory, very similar to what we did at the live event in September at Full Sail. We'll do words to remember. They'll get a list of, different than what we used in September, but they'll get a list of 300 words. They'll go off into their own study room, and they'll have 15 minutes to remember as many of these words as they can. We got the 125 in this year's championship, so we've got the best of the best. We may be breaking some new records here as they compete for who's going to be able to remember the most words. And then we're going to shrink it back down to 5 tea party guests, so we will have 5 tea party guests. In this case, we're going to go live. We'll have 5 people come on stage and give out information about themselves. Maybe it's their favorite foods or their hobbies or their pet, and maybe their favorite car. And they'll give that information out as if they were at a tea party, and they'll share that with the mental athletes. And the mental athletes will get a mind map to help them to retain as much of the information as they can. And then we'll take all their paperwork away, and they'll have to look at the person as we change the sequence of how they come back on order on stage, and then they will have to tell you their name and phone numbers and hobbies and pet and cars and interesting information about the person, that if you met them at a cocktail party or a tea party, you'd be amazed that, my God, I remembered all this information about this person. And then we'll close it down with our 2 decks of cards, and we'll have, we're thinking of having 4 people compete in that event, but that's not final. But we're thinking of having 4 people, 3 people compete with looking at 5 minutes, 2 decks of cards, and seeing who's going to be able to remember the most order of cards. So that's head-to-head competition. So in each event, we'll start with 14 people, we'll eliminate 3, and then we'll go to the next event, eliminate maybe 3 or 4, and then we go to the tea party, eliminate 3 or 4. So in each event, the goal is to eliminate more people. And so our goal is to get it down to 3 or 4 by the time we go to the double deck. And by the end of that, we've got our champion. And the great news is MIT is putting out $10,000 of prize money for this year's event. So it's a big time event, and they're offering tours for some of the younger folks, teens that are interested in college and MIT, and they'll get to come as a special treat. As somebody competing, they'll get a special private tour of MIT as well. So that's our November 10th, and now that we've got the calendar and we've got Hurricane Milton coming down on us here in the Disney World area, we just need to get through that, and we'll pick it up hopefully by Friday, and we'll keep the ball moving, getting ready for the big event on November 10th. So wish me well over the next few days, and if all goes well, you'll see me back here on Friday.